This club's about winning trophies. I'm inexperienced in a lot of those things.
3-0.
Sorry for smiling there.
Almost lost the cup and you win it. The new European champions, the treble, the dream come true for you.
Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell. But they never give in. And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Ooh, sir, how we doing? How we doing? Manchester United get the job done in the FA Cup, 5th round. Decent performance, better result, 1-0 at the City Ground, Nottingham Forest. Tricky bottom half side, but United get a clean sheet, get a win, get a a rival in the next round. We're hosting the Scousers. But most importantly, we clear the air with actually a decent performance, and more importantly, a win. A win's a win's a win. We needed it. The boys needed it. The manager needed it. I needed it because I couldn't handle all the fallout that'll come on Sunday when we lose to City. But either way, hey, how we doing? How we feeling? I enjoyed parts of that, and could have been a little more comfortable, but I enjoyed parts of that.
That's sounds like a confident statement there. Look, I backed the boys to win. I said they win 2-1. We won 1-0. I thought we would have been a little sharper. Could have scored some goals there. I really thought Forest were, we saw Fulham kind of take it to us, and we were really vulnerable. Forest sat back, and that played right into our hands. We had more of the ball, field tilt to United. I just wish were a little sharper in the front three. But obviously, when you're playing McTominay at 10, you rely on him as like a false 9 to try to score goals. Things are going to be a little different. We generated some good chances. Onana stood tall. Amrabat, nervy, getting chased down.
Nervy. That guy's fast. Their striker is fast. Holy shit.
But I do have to call out that Forest, like we've seen many times before in games where United is squeaking out victories, we did give them big opportunities, and they could not capitalize, which is great and a huge result. Like you said, sir, this is a results-based business. Back against the wall, needed a win, got to win. That's what it's all about. Everyone's saying the sky's falling. Usually it isn't, and I think that is something to take away. But did we see some shit football today? Large quantities of shit football, unfortunately, but United, we had the quality right at the end with Bruno and Casemiro, and we've seen us steal it like that this season, and this movie continues.
I think you're being a little unfair to the boys. I know it's been shit football all season, and, it wasn't perfect, but it was definitely better. It was definitely better than Fulham. I mean, look at the XG, bro. So take it. Like you said, we created chances. We should have scored more, but when you have McTominay as your striker, he's not going to be as clinical as a Højlund. But either way, it's about the 3 points. I think Forest played into our hands to a certain extent, but the boys played decently. Onana had a good game. I thought Casemiro finally looked like the Casemiro that we saw last season. Bruno turned it on at the end of the second half. And Varane stood in well. Delo had a decent game. So good win, important to advance in the cup. We've got a tricky round coming up. At least we're playing at home and not at Anfield. But decent in spats, and that just talks about how bad of a season it's been, because I'll take this. And most importantly, take the win. And you know what? We needed a little bit of fresh air headed into the derby, because that's going to be a tough one. City looking for blood. They're looking for points. They're looking for, pushing that goal differential up, and they know United is vulnerable.
It was that entertaining 97 minutes of football against the 17th place team in the league. No way. No way. United didn't dominate. We didn't control the game enough. We have the quality, but there's no way that was a solid 90 minutes from United. The XG, we didn't create enough, and we didn't have the sharpness to even score. Anthony hitting the bar. I just felt like the real red flag for me is fine, the attack is sputtering, but the back line, we were all over the shop. They were running at us. It was nervy. The same mistakes you've seen over. And again, similar to when we beat Villa, individual quality at the end steals it, and that's just the theme. Like, we did not dominate this game. It was not an entertaining watch from my perspective. So, result, buzzing about it, but like, again, shit football persists in my opinion.
Okay, well, don't let perfect be the enemy of good, sir. Because you're a big XG guy. We did outpace them by at least 1.5 XG. Doesn't matter. I agree. Ugly at times, but it's about the performance. It's about the result. The result is good. We move on. Now it's about City. It's all about the derby on the weekend. It's all about not getting embarrassed and hopefully picking up a point. I think the plan should be what we did against Anfield. And I agree wholeheartedly with the sentiment you said at the beginning of the pod, which is neutral to football in general, which is when everyone thinks one thing, it's usually the other thing. So everyone thinks we're going to get annihilated. I think this will give us a little bit of confidence just because the mood has been sour recently. And City are a huge opponent. Dude, they're a great team. They're finally picking up form. Holland, the freak show, is back. De Bruyne is back, and they're going to be ready to rock. So United, the manager has to show the only flexibility we've seen all season from a tactical perspective is when he packed it in Anfield. And I think if he learned anything this season, he's fighting for his job. Pack it in at Etihad. There's no shame there. They're a better team than the Scousers, and we need to save face at this point and kind of just make sure we're in a position to not get embarrassed and keep that momentum all week, right? So if you get fucking crap kicked out of you, it's going to be a lot of dark clouds for 7 days until we play Everton the following weekend.
Quick PSA for the podcast. You like the American Red Devils, support us on Patreon. We don't have any commercial sponsors. Check it out, patreon.com/American Red Devils. You want to be a top tier Muppet, support us on Patreon. We have an extra special Patreon podcast episode every single month available only to our Patreon members. So please check it out. Also check out our store, AmericanDevils.store. Grab some merch, stickers, scarves, shirts, beanies, you name it. Also check out our fan blog content. We have a great article up there about the stadium redevelopment. You can get that at AmericanRedDevils.com. Sir, tell them about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews and 5-star reviews of the American Red Devils podcast. Wherever you listen, it's a great way to support the pod. Helps us get found organically. And we're giving away free merch. We still are. I just shipped out a bunch. All you have to do is write a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. Send a screenshot to AmericanDevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I'll personally pick, pack, and ship a free piece of ARD merch. Send it right to your door anywhere in the world. Here's a great review from Scotty Mack. 412, newer United fan, my go-to pod. I love these two Jersey boys and the enthusiasm and love they bring for the club. The club became a fan during last year's campaign, and the American Devils quickly became my weekly go-to. Thanks, boys, for bringing the insight and love of the club week in, week out. We appreciate it. Sir, let's get into that game.
All right, we're talking Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 1, City Ground, FA Cup. Let's get into that lineup. We had Onana in net, Amrabat left back, Lindelof Varane center back pairing, Dalot at right back, McTominay, Casemiro, and Bruno midfield, Garnacho on the left, Rashford up top, and Antony coming in, the 85 million pound man. How are we feeling?
Yeah, I mean, makeshift team a little bit in the back line at least, but good to see Varane available. Amrabat called that left back. Lindelof a little surprised there. I thought maybe he'd prefer Evans. And then, Kobe gets the blow. Anthony gets a turn at the wheel. No big shockers. I think you called it. You said, there's no way we don't see Anthony, even though everyone's begging to see Ahmad. But he did make the sub 10 minutes earlier. But, no huge surprises in this 11 given the injuries and the state of play at Man United at the moment.
Let's jump into that match.
Let's get into it. United start decently, start well, but Forest are able to find space in the midfield to exploit as is usual. 4th minute, like you said, Anthony hits the crossbar. Really probably should score and could use a goal there. More of it, 8th minute. Gray had a chance for McSauce, but he was right at the shot was right at the American keeper Turner. Keep going. We had some good chances in the opening 20. 17th minute, great chance for Rashi. Should do better, blasts over, and then opposite side of the pitch, 18th minute, great save from Onana. United gave the ball away in a dangerous position, but Onana coming up big. He had a good game.
Yeah, Onana played very well in 33rd minute. McSauce, another good header. Dalot with a good cross. He was finding McSauce. He was arriving late in the box. Coming to halftime, the themes were Amrabat was getting absolutely cooked out on the left-hand side of the pitch.
That boy's got some pace, by the way. That guy is like a fire fast.
and big too.
And big.
And obviously McSauce probably with the best chances off of Delo's boot. He's arriving late into the box. But again, good start, good 10 minutes from United. Then we kind of Forest grew into the game, got more confident. It was really kind of back and forth stuff, really kind of, like you said, like blow for blow. We were exposed. We were going forward. More of the same that we've seen from United. I mean, it's entertaining to watch, but we weren't really getting a control of the game, but that would improve in the second half.
No doubt. We're still too open, for sure. And Forest, they know it. They came out hot. They were ready to go, and they wanted to take advantage of United. Because we've seen this all season. We've been very vulnerable in those opening 5 to 10 minutes, especially in the second half. So they came out looking to take a turn at United. 49th minute, nice save from Onana after Delo gets dangled by a Longa Academy grad. And then there are more chances. This is the big one, 53rd minute. Good chance for Origi, but his shot went straight at Onana. This is the one that, probably their most dangerous chance of the game for Forest coming early in that second half.
And then the penalty shout, sir, give it to me here in the 58th minute. You got to be complaining about this one.
I mean, I thought he was letting a lot of tackles go. I didn't even have that much of a problem with this compared to some of the stuff that happened later. But 58th minute, Rashford was tackled in the box, kind of from behind. It was like side tackle. Two guys kind of sandwiched him, and he fell over. Neither got the ball. If it's outside the box, it's a foul in my book, but no call. But I think the ref had made a mar of today. I mean, especially that choke hold in the 99th minute. But
we'll get to that.
This Ped's on the edge. What do you think, sir?
Look, for me, this was not a penalty. I think the initial side contact came in right on the edge of the box. And also the ball was like a little far ahead of Rashford. Really the distance to the ball. If Rashford had it on his foot and then he had that contact and it was like just like a step farther in the box, stonewall pen. It was sort of like a coming together while the ball was still leading Rashford. So if he had it at his feet, I think it would be a stonewall pen, but it was sort of like gray area. And if the ref doesn't call it pen, VAR is not going to overturn it. So again, you're hoping for the penalty call here as a Muppet, but you're not going to get it, unfortunately. And, in a game that's 0-0, as a football fan, you have a penalty like this that could be on the edge. You probably want to play on, right?
No, I always like less calls than more calls. They seem to be getting more calls than we were, but I would agree with you. I think the thing that turned it so it wasn't a pen was that he did lose. The ball was a little ahead of him, and if it was right at his foot,
exactly.
If it was right at his foot when he got barreled over, I think it is a pen. But like you said, it was like kind of getting away from him, so no big deal there. 71st minute, Ahmad came on for Anthony. Could happen a little earlier, but good to see the youngster in Ahmad. And then the game really got open. 82nd minute, Rashford blazes a golden opportunity over the bar. Has to do better. Too much of this. Like when we do create chances, dude, hit the target. I know everybody wants to go top bin, but a lot of that, sir. A lot of
we saw him in finishing drills. We saw it at Old Trafford during warm-ups. He wasn't hitting his shots in the warm-ups, and I was pointing that out to you, and then you see him in the game not hitting his shots. Our boy is missing some mojo, and obviously we got some drama in the press that could talk to that. 86th minute, big save from Onana, game back and forth, end to end. This is the type of stuff that I've just been highlighting all season. It's Nottingham Forest. They're not good. We should be dominating the game, and we're giving them way too many chances. But thankfully, 90th minute, we would come good. We would get the winner.
Nottingham members of the match. In by Bruno Fernandes and all the way in. Casemiro claims the touch. He says it's my goal. It's certainly Bruno Fernandes' contribution that is massively telling. And it's almost certainly Manchester United who will claim their place in the quarter-final and break Forest.
Tell you what, this was a bit of a vintage Casemiro performance reminiscent of last year. I'm going to miss the crazy Brazilian bastard next year when we inevitably sell him to the Saudis. But good ball in from Bruno. He had a little bit of a quiet game, was definitely getting targeted. And nice finish from Casemiro. It led to a nice long VAR call, sir. I think they were looking for every reason to possibly overturn it because Varane was offsides, but he didn't block off his man like Endo did in the final of the EFL Cup. That was a big call, but nice goal. Just when you needed it, right? At the death.
Hey, VAR doesn't need to be taking away goals. This was a spot-on goal. The fact Casemiro got a head injury, and he's still heading the ball in like a dog.
And he was bleeding after this goal.
That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Yeah, exactly. Look, this is the winner. United need it. It's like back against the wall. You need a result. You get a result, dude. Doesn't matter how you play. It's win, baby, win. That's the mentality for United at the moment. We got to win ugly. We got to win dirty. We got to get in the mud with Nottingham Forest. And it was a great winner. And exactly what the doctor ordered, because this team needs something, dude. We're like absolutely scrapped from an injury perspective. Blood in the water, press coming for us. And great to see Casemiro get his winner, celebrate.
Big Sally. Big Sally.
Get some mojo going, because these lads, dude, it's like, that's why I knew they would come out and win. It's because anytime this team has been down in the mud, they've been able to fight out of it. So you need your dogs like Casemiro and Anthony to help you.
There you go, sir. Well said. 94th minute, double sub. Mainu and Evans came on for McTominay and Amrabat to kill out the game. A lot of extra time. There was 5 minutes, then we score, and I guess because the VAR call was their justification, but it went to like 110. And then 99th minute, Bruno gets choked by one of their players, and VAR looks at it and doesn't give anything, sir. So if you want to know how bad the officiating is in England, you know, it's not always this bad, but this is a testament of how bad it is, bro. It's like, how's that not a red?
You know, I didn't think the Casemiro was a red last year, but he got a red.
This was worse.
The fact that he doesn't get a red is crazy, but, you know, we beat him. Like, that's all that matters. The ref discussion, people moaning about the ref, it's like, the photo's hysterical, by the way. Bruno, like, getting choked is, I think, that's just going to live on.
As the cover for this pod, I hope.
In meme lore, for sure. So, look, United win 1-0, easy as you like, away, gritty away performance. Nottingham Forest, they were up for it. I thought this had extra time written all over it. Thankfully, we didn't have to watch more of this, and we got it done in regulation.
100%. I did not need more Manchester United in the current form. So I was happy to take the win. Advance the next round of the Cup. It's going to be a really tricky one. We are hosting Liverpool in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. I think it's scheduled, hasn't been set, 16th or 17th of March, so right around the corner. And we got to win, right? Like you said, out of the mud for a little bit, but we can be right back in it Sunday afternoon after we play City, because it's going to be a big test for this bunch of bluffers.
And the other teams in the other quarterfinal matches, Wolves versus Coventry City. That would have been a nice matchup.
Yeah, I'll take
Chelsea versus Leicester City, and then Man City versus Newcastle. So still some pretty good teams left in the tournament. Looking at the stat sheet, Forest 0.79 XG to Manchester United's 2.37. Shots 20 to United, 16 to Forest, 5 on target for Forest to Manchester United 7. 61% of the ball to their 39%. Sure, we had them on pass accuracy, 87 to 82%. We had them on field tilt as well. And Bruno Fernandes won more tackles, 6, and created more chances, 6, and registered more assists, 1, than any other player on the pitch. Look, you said it was a quiet game for him, but involved in every single way, helping United punch on, including getting choked, sir. Getting choked for this performance. Good old
too close, man. You're too close, man.
Good old Bruno Fernandes. You know, it's like this team has some fight in it, and back against the wall, like I said we would win, and we did, because this team has some resilience and fights back, and let's hope that we can find some dogs to play against City on Sunday, because it's gonna be a big game. Pressure is probably on City, honestly. If you're thinking about it, right? They're in the title race. We got nothing to lose. We can play spoilers. But, sir, what do I know? Let's check in with the man. The turtleneck himself.
Oh, God. Eric you see his turtleneck?
Let's go.
Top turtleneck. Let's hear from him.
It was hard to line up, especially the back four. It was a puzzle. And I think finally we have found the right formation and also the organization. So we have to find our rhythm. We needed some time. First off, although we created very good chances, Scott McTominay twice, Marcus Rashford, good chance, Anthony. but also we allowed them some counters, and there was also second half, first 5 minutes. But after that, we took completely, I think, the control in the game, and we were more calm and composed, and we keeping the ball longer. We stayed, we were in their half, and we getting the switches. And as I say, we took the control and we created the chances, and we didn't allow them come into the counter-attack. So yeah, I'm very pleased with second half especially, and I'm most of all very pleased with the spirit from the team and the passion and desire they showed, and that must be always the standard.
That was just one answer, but I feel like you know what he said, sir. But I feel like this manager is more honest when we win, and then when we lose, he kind of he puffs up things that pisses off fans, pisses off probably the players, pisses off the press. But he called it pretty straight on this. Gave up opportunities, created some, needed to take more of them, and we move on to the next round. And sir, next round, let's go.
Before the next round, sir, we have a next match. Are we ready to go?
Born ready, baby. Let's go.
It's the Derby. Man City versus Manchester United at the Etihad. Sir, the city is yours. The city is yours. 40,000 empty seats. Are you fucking sure? It's Sunday, March 3rd, 7:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Lifetime versus Man City, a.k.a. Ardwick. 178, drawn 53, lost 60.
It's getting tighter,
first time
bro. When we first did this pod, it was it was not 60. It just keeps edging up.
Yeah, because we're getting cooked, bro. First time we played them, 1891, Ardwick versus Manchester United. We won 5-1 in the FA Cup. Let's hope we can win 5-1. Last 5, lost
could be 5-1.
4,
Other way,
1-1. Last 5, we've lost 4 and won 1. Last time we played them at home, sir, lost 3-0, and I feel like that was a win because we didn't lose by more than that. City coming in, steamrolling 3-1 to Copenhagen. They did draw Chelsea. They beat Brentford 1-0, Bournemouth 1-0, and they just cooked Luton Town that we end up pipping 6-2. Holland hidden 5. Getting hot at the right time. Can we play spoilers against City? They aren't on the best of form, but seeing what they did to Luton, if we give them any space in behind, De Bruyne and Holland will be putting us to the sword.
We know exactly this team. We know how dangerous they are. I've seen us get beat up by this team too many times, especially in the last 3 years when they've hit another level with Holland in the mix. So it's about avoiding embarrassment, and ideally it's about pipping a point, right? Because if we can go in and pull off what we pulled out at Anfield, that would be a great result for this team. It would also, which is not probably what we want, depending on what you ask, but would probably put a little dent in their title run. But it's a huge performance, huge opportunity for us to step up and at least make it tough for them. We gotta be organized. We have to show up, right? We have to actually show up with some effort and some enthusiasm. The manager talked about that. We haven't seen enough of that. We need to see the players actually give a shit, because if you don't, you will be exposed, because this team is just oozing quality. And like you said, Holland's back, De Bruyne is back, and they're all hitting form at exactly the wrong time for us.
The only good news is Jack Grealish is out with an injury. A little history on Shitty. They were founded in 1880 as St. Mark's, West Gordon. They became Ardwick Association Football Club in 1887. Little match-fixing scandal, you know it. And then Man City. They became Manchester City in 1894. In their seasons following their first FA Cup triumph, the club was dogged by allegations of financial irregularities, culminating the suspension of 17 players in the match-fixing scandal of 1906, including Captain Billy Meredith, who subsequently moved across town to Manchester United, helping us win our first league title. So again, the downfall of City back in the early 1900s, sir, led to the rise of Manchester United, and Manchester has been red ever since, aside from the last couple of years. But we all know how many 1 billion charges against Man City for cheating and laundering money into that goddamn football club, they're going to get pulled apart. We're going to sign all their good players and then kick on again. So
is that going to happen? I was just thinking that. History does have a tendency to repeat itself. 115 charges. If they get relegated, fucking, at least we relegated a couple leagues.
Hey,
Pep's
Kevin
out.
De Bruyne.
Pep's out. Hey, Kevin, you're old. I'll take you. Holland, useful. Left foot, right foot, scoring goals for fun.
They don't have to move. They don't have to move.
Exactly.
They don't have to sell their house. Just come over. Kids
can go to the same school.
There could be something to it. They most recently played the 4-2-3-1 Ortega in that Ake, Akanji, Stones, Walker, Kovacic, Nunez, De Bruyne, Silva. Grealish is out. That's okay. But they have plenty of people that can fall into line and Erling Haaland up top, sir. It's going to be a riot. Physio room injuries brutal for United. Luke Shaw, Martinez, Martial, Malacia, Hoyland is still out. Mount, AWB, Magoo. And obviously, we saw Bruno limping away today in the parking lot. So, not a good sign. United falling apart.
Falling apart, sir. Like you said, Bruno. Shout out to Bruno for being Mr. Resilient. But we'll see if he makes the final. Picking the 11 is going to be tough, Will the managers kind of keep with what we saw today? You wouldn't fault him for it. But either way, the approach has to be different. You have to play conservatively. You have to back it in. Do not try to play this fucking lunatic football we've seen this year. Otherwise, you will get annihilated and they'll score 10 goals. And Holland is triple captain pick right there. But the 11 is going to be big. The tactics is going to be bigger, and it's going to be about who shows up. Does United actually show up? And if we do, well, we got a sniff of a point.
Who's your starting 11, Alex?
I'm going to do Onana, Dalot, Varane, Evans, Kamwala, Amrabat. I'm going to do a back three. Casemiro, Kobe, Bruno makes it, and then I'm going to do Rashford and Garnacho on the counter. Sir, what do you got?
Rashford's still starting. I like doing something similar that we did today. Again, whether you like it or not, you're going to see Onana. You're going to see Amrabat getting cooked. You're going to see Varane, Lindelof, and Dalot. I think you get Casemiro, Kobe, Bruno, right? You're not going to play the McTominay false nine, and you're going to get Garnacho, Rashford, and Antony, because Antony did really good today. Showed his £85 million worth.
Your sarcasm is dripping off of that last line. So let's check in with the bookies.
Hit the bar.
Boy could have used a goal. I'll tell you that. He needed a goal. That was a great opportunity for him to score a goal, and he hit the crossbar in the 5th minute, but he needed to score because he needs a fucking goal. I don't think he's going to be scoring against Man City, and I don't think he's going to be starting against Man City. He didn't look as bad as he looked on the left wing a month ago, but...
No, I think he's going to start. You got to start him. He's a big money signing. So he's going to come good. You heard the manager's comments. What are the odds here for the bookies?
City heavy favorites, minus 390, plus 500 for the draw, plus 900. Plus 900. I don't think I've ever seen us with odds close to 1,000. That is insane. 9 times.
This is like League Two odds. We start seeing the 900. It's got to be the injuries. 1,
I know we're terrible, but still, plus 900.
This is a record. This is a record for United being underdog in the league. In the league, we've never seen United this. This is a joke.
It's a record line. We've never seen plus 900 for United, even when we played PSG. This is Barcelona. Plus 900. So, sir, given the odds, what is your score prediction?
Sir, they got us on the grill. They're cooking us for 24 hours, 48 hours, cooking us on the grill. Brisket, baby. That's what these bookies are doing to United.
Oof.
What do you think unfortunately, I predicted the win against Fulham.
Did you predict the win?
I predicted the win against Fulham. We lost. I predicted the win against Nottingham Forest. We won. Unfortunately, I have a feeling we're going to lose. It probably won't be as bad as everyone thinks. It's probably not going to be plus 900. I'm thinking 3-1 City, 2-1 City. I'll go with 3-1 just because Haaland is kind of finding his form again. It's either going to be 1-1,
right,
nervy, or it's going to be
5-0,
9-0 Haaland sending us to Norway. It's there's no, So I'm going to say
Norway. That's good.
I'm going to say 2-1 City. It's 2-1. It's going to be closer than people think. But we won't win.
My heart's telling me 0-0. My head's telling me 4-0 City. Yeah. So hopefully it's not ugly. Hopefully you're right, sir, and it's closer than most people think, including me, number one Muppet in the pod room. So let's get.
But just think of those opportunities that we gave up to Forest, and it's like, and look at those players can't finish, And so the thing is, like, we're good for giving up opportunities, and City is the type of team that's going to punish you. So you're right; it could be that 4-0.
Easy.
But regardless, United in the news. United in the news, sir. Dan Ashworth set to be Manchester United's new technical director. Let's go.
It's gaining steam. None of the tier ones have kind of picked up on it, but everything we're hearing is it's a matter of when, not if. It's set on. We're getting Ashworth. I think we're going to get Ashworth for the summer. Now it's just about settling on that fee. So the whole plan, the whole hope is that by the summer, we'll have a new CEO. We'll have a new sporting director of football, whatever you want to call Dan, and then a team below him to build a proper structure as shown in other football clubs around Europe. So I'm super excited about this. This is all I care about. Signings. I'm so overly excited about signings. This is about cleaning up the wage book. This is about raising some funds, and it's about getting out the bluffers. That's what I care about this summer. The buys are less important to me. It's about selling. It's about getting like the big anchors hanging around our neck. The Anthonys, the Sanchos, the fucking, what's his name?
You're not going to get rid of them all, No,
you won't.
You're not
You'd be lucky to get one of those two off your books.
Anthony's going to be here, bro.
Anthony will most likely be here. You'd be lucky to get rid of Sancho. And you got to deal with like the whatever his name is. Who's the Dutch guy who's on loan in Germany? Who doesn't play? He's terrible.
Donnie.
Poor Donnie. So it's a big summer for that. We're going to need proper negotiators. We're going to know people who can get a deal done. And that's why I'm excited for Ashworth to come in. So hopefully it's a formality. We can settle a price with Newcastle. And he could be our guide, take us back to the promised land as part of a great team.
Yeah, but these sources, though, on this stuff, the Santi, the @Santi JFM, I mean, these guys are nobodies. They're the ones who also said Zidane. Ineos wants Zidane. So, take it with a grain of salt. I have been hearing rumblings from on socials. Ashworth is good to go, but it hasn't come from any like tier one sources. So let's just hope where there's smoke, there's fire. Just caveating, there's like, it's a new regime at Ineos, so we don't know what sources actually have connects to Ratcliffe. So we're kind of in a no man's land of sourcing, but we're Muppets. We're just going to tell you what's out there, have some good banter, but just caveating, we don't know who actually has the hooks into Ineos. Also, summer tour coming to the United States. We're going to play Liverpool and Arsenal, playing at SoFi Stadium, home of the Rams. That seems like a great place for Liverpool and United to face off, sir. But as you know, we're talking about practice. This is preseason. We did beat Arsenal in preseason, and well, like I said, the best I've ever seen United play was under that preseason with LVG, and then he got sacked right after that. I think we beat like Real Madrid, Barcelona. Like we went on like some crazy run on preseason, and then like the real season kicked off. We did nothing. You want to give us the?
Let me just comment on the tour. Let me just comment on the tour real quick. This is officially announced. I think there were like inklings months ago. Officially confirmed by the club like a week ago. Looking for news. Dude, this is where they should be doing probably basically every preseason tour should be in the United States. And that's not because we're Muppets, because like facilities are good, time zones line up, the weather's good. And every time we try to go to Asia, shout out to Asia, we love Asia, but like it's always a shit show going from fucking Hong Kong to Australia to going to Thailand and Bangkok. And there's always something that happens. So US feels like, green slopes are nice and easy. I think we should be doing basically every summer tour in the States just to keep things easy on the players, and so they don't have to do the crazy journey, whatever that flight is. 16,
yeah, but last
hours.
year we did in the States. And we had a shit season because we were playing so many games. You remember, like
they did a Europe tour,
two days in a row. Then you played two separate squads. Then we went to then we went to play to Ireland.
They did a Euro and a US.
Way too much.
No, they did, but that was the old regime. The old regime who was prioritizing money above all else, not football. So I would imagine we got real football and people in charge now. They're not going to let us do like 11 preseason games where we did Europe. States, like you said, back-to-back games in the States, and then back to Europe. So we'll see.
Mark my words, whatever went down in preseason. When we talk about like this whole drama and the whole like what the fuck happened to United this year, and when it all comes out, like Jadon Sancho spitting the manager's food on preseason tour, and the whole thing is gonna come out. But like I think that something happened on that between the US tour and coming back to United, something went down, and that's kind of when everything went sour. Because by the time we kicked off against the Wolves, it was proper mess. Or you got sources in Saudi Arabia. You want to give us the update there on what they're buying?
Well, we referenced this a couple pods ago, so we talked about we got a lot of dead wood to shift. The biggest buyers of dead wood at the moment over the last year or two has been the Saudis as they try to pump up the league in advance of the World Cup. Oh, God, what a World Cup that's going to be. But no, the sources are saying they got plenty of bills left, sir. They got no financial fair play regulations. The Saudis are going deep in the paint again for more signings. They're looking at De Bruyne, Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson, Varane, Casemiro, Bruno, Bernardo Silva, and then I love it they threw an Andres Pereira in there, which is great for us because we need to sell players, and we need to sell certain players who are on big wages. Certain players on big wages are not going to want to go to Saudi, but a Casemiro would want to go to Saudi. Varane is going to be out of contract, so it doesn't really matter. I don't want to talk about Bruno, but this is good because we need buyers, and the purse strings are going to be tighter in the EPL now that FA has decided to enact financial fair play in reality. They did the 10 points for Everton, then they changed it to 6 points. Who knows what they're going to do going forward, but I think people are going to be spending less in the EPL.
Next bit of news here. Summer signings, just kind of to that vein of Saudi looking to buy big names. United looking to sell a lot of names. Like you said, Eriksen, Varane, Casemiro, Magoo, McTominay, AWB, Lindelof, Sancho, Van de Beek, Palestri, Williams. I mean, the fact that this list is coming out, I mean, this is from ESPN. Sources told ESPN they're looking to offload a lot of names, 11 first-team players, and they're also looking to sign a striker and a defender in the summer while also improving the overall quality of the squad. You're going to need to sign a few more players than that if you're going to sell as many players as that we have listed here. So, look, this summer, it's all about Ashworth. The only signing I care about is that, and the only thing I want is to stop seeing shit football next year. So, however that happens, we'll see. But this is a lot, and I hate when we just ship these big lists because we've seen it year after year. United want to sell, and we never sell. And what's the differentiating factor? It's going to be who the director of football is.
Yeah, we got a new CEO. We've got a new regime at the top of the pyramid. And like you said, we've seen this. We've been doing this pod, since 2017, sir? We're 7 years in. And we've seen these stories every summer for the last 5 years. It's arguably never been a longer list of players that need to be sold. But can Dan Ashworth and co, can they get deals done? And that's going to be the big test, right? It's not about buys right now, like I said a little bit earlier. It's about selling. It's about selling, getting good value, getting Sancho off the books, and that's going to be the big test upcoming, right? Buys we have to make. Like you said, if we sell 11 players, you can't just sign 4. But it's all about how much weight we can move off that off the old wages list.
Sir, jumping to fan questions at KVD.
I had to ask you about this. Sorry, I'm sorry to cut you off. Arteta. Would you take Arteta? Apparently, they leaked the story. Arteta 100% leave Man United. Erik ten Hag, he's out. Do you want Mikel Arteta? High-flying Arteta with the eyebrows, sir? You want him?
Rio Ferdinand said it, which means
Qatar.
He also said Qatar was acquiring United, so obviously, it's just an opinion of Rio. Would he take the Manchester United job 100%? No, he would not, because Arsenal has a good team and they don't play shit football. So unfortunately for United, but Arteta, I would not take Arteta at United because Arteta is, it's an interesting thing. I believe the best viewpoint, we discussed this when we were on the trip. It's we met people who are fans of different teams. And as an Arsenal fan, I'm meeting an Arsenal fan, I'm hey, I want you to keep Arteta because he's not going to win shit. The moment you go get a good manager, you're going to start winning because their team can win stuff and your manager sucks. And I'm sure if you walked down the street and asked other rival teams what they thought of Erik ten Hag, they'd be like, definitely keep that guy. So, like, you definitely know how your manager stacks up based on what rival fans think. And if, like, Jurgen Klopp, can't wait for him to leave. Like, that's a great indication that your manager is doing well when the rival fans want him to get out of town. Just like Pep, need that guy to go. Klopp, need him to go. Arteta, please stay at Arsenal. Do not want him at United.
Yeah, I obviously agree. But the funny thing was, like you said, you meet a lot of football fans. Everyone's asking why you're in London, why you're in Manchester. A lot of Arsenal fans hot on Arteta. We'll see what happens if they can win anything this year. But I just thought the banter. I just wanted to get your reaction.
They're too close to it. It's like, just like your buddy when he's dating a girl and you can tell she's like, we've all been there when your boy's dating a girl and you don't have the heart to tell him.
Yeah.
He's got the rose-colored glasses. I feel like that's the same with Arteta. It's like Arteta bottled the title. Short of him winning it this year, he's got to go. Like, if Arsenal's a serious club, they got to shit can him and bring in someone serious to go for the dub because that team right now is good enough to win. And it's like Arteta he's too emotional and he's a bluffer. Jumping into fan questions, sir. At KV Dino MUFC. Sirs, a win is a win, but hard to feel great after watching that. Thank God for the chubby cheek baby face Brazilian assassin. I'm very worried about the City game. Hopefully we don't give up a touchdown.
A touchdown with or without the extra point. I agree. I agree. It's like, I thought we left them in the game to steal it, and then they have to do it late. And City, like you said, you give them those chances. You give them even like 1 XG, they can score 3-4 goals off of it. So we have to get better soon.
At Jer_Young93, does Rashford even want to wear the badge anymore? His first touch and work rate are mediocre at best.
We've talked about Rashi a lot. It's been a disappointment. He was a little bit better today. He was certainly better today than he was. They always seem to show up when like the manager is like a minute from getting sacked. But it's not the Rashi we saw last season.
A minute.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, everyone was acting like he's going to get sacked after Fulham, and then they kind of show up. I saw more effort than we saw at Fulham. Obviously, it's hard to
because it's a fucking racket, and it's like, and Rashford's all you need to know about Marcus Rashford is sign the big money deal, boys with Jadon Sancho, effed off at training and lied to the manager and went to a club in Belfast, like a dirty, soily nightclub in Belfast. That's all you need to know, and he hasn't been tracking back. So most likely, the rumors that came out about him and Erik ten Hag not doing well is probably right. It doesn't mean Rashford shouldn't try in the game, so he deserves criticism. He's getting it, and man, he was getting it from the Stretford end. The fans have kind of like, you could not and never have imagined that people would want to sell Marcus Rashford, but the fan base is kind of like all in agreement there. At JackBorn86, sirs, nothing like a midweek helping of shitfootball.com, and we win 6 of our last 7. I'm hoping Ten Hag can string along these bluffers for another 2 to 3 months to buy time for Ashworth and co to get settled.
I mean, that would be my hope. We could just let's push the move to the summer. Let's save the circus for June, July, and let's just see what happens. Because just as quickly as people are in a good mood today, this is a reactionary world. Game has changed. Everything, you're only as good as your last match. So we get blown out, it's going to be doom and gloom again.
At D_Cole18, we won, but what a brutal watch. Rashford looks like he doesn't even want to be a United player and is only showing up to get checks. And Bruno lost some of his magic, and his whinging is beyond tiring. Can we even sell both at this point? Anthony sucks, and City are going to destroy us.
Sir, go ahead.
Sir, what do you think?
Go ahead, bro. You go.
Sir, you're up.
I'm good. Yeah, that was. I mean, that's hard to respond to. It's a lot there.
So was that a brutal watch?
It was better than the game before. So I think it's all relative. Life is relative. Football's relative. Is it like unbecoming of a Manchester United side? Yes, of course. Is it unbecoming effort-wise and quality of the gameplay and control in it? Yes, of course. But like compared to some of the games we've seen this season, we're getting blown out at XG. I'll take it. The Rashford thing, he's the one I would sell. You know, if you're going to pick between the two, I know he's younger, but Bruno is playing through injuries and doesn't miss matches, and Rashford barely can run. So, like, I'll take the guy getting choked out in the 100th minute versus the Belfast boy.
At Randy,
you got to respond to that. Oh, Randy Scrandy. Here we go.
Can we sell Rashford and Bruno now? Can we finally get on the same page? What do you think? Can we even sell them if we want to? Are people going to £60 million, Marcus Rashford?
Dude, of course you could sell him. Like,
I mean, would you take $60 million?
No, because he's worth more than that. And PSG,
the wages.
PSG have
that's a good
PSG
deal because
are
of the
nation
wages.
State. PSG are nation state. You know,
I agree.
They paid $100 million. They paid Mbappe
$100
million a year. They paid him $2 million.
I understand that, but you take that deal because of the wages, dude. Because you got to get the wages off the books. Think of how much money that is.
I think you can more $60 million, but
over 4 years, that is $50 million. You know, Marcus Rashford's wages on his contract is almost that amount of money.
You have to replace Marcus Rashford. You know, and
yes, of course you do.
So that's not easy. Even with
you have Garnacho. Garnacho replaced him on the left wing. Hoyland's our striker, and you got to sign another
Garnacho plays
striker.
on the right wing, bro. He's like, if you look at the productivity we've seen with him on the right, he's way better. At least this season on the right. So I think he's your right winger. Forget Sancho. Forget Anthony. We have to find a new left winger. $60 million. That doesn't buy him much these days,
dude. Anthony's your right winger.
No, he's not, bro. That's why. Dude, when we had Hoyland available, was he starting?
Eric Ten Hag just said that he's like world class and he's like one of the best players I've ever seen. Like he just said that like literally a week ago. You don't believe the manager? Come on, he's gonna come good. He's got Anthony should come good eventually.
So whatever
right?
you have to tell yourself to sleep at night, you know.
you don't think that there's a player there? Maybe not an £85 million player, but like a better player than he is right now.
He can't cut it at Manchester United, and he can't cut it in the EPL. I mean, he could probably play like back at Ajax. He could probably play in like
there you go.
He could probably play in the Bundesliga, probably play in La Liga, but like he's not an EPL player.
You got a mod. You know, we do have options, but I do think that this selling strategy is this the right strategy for United to have going into the summer? Like we want to sell everyone, fire sale. Is that? Or do we want to be more selective? Like we're not selling Rashford, we're not selling Bruno, like playing the bluffing game a little bit. Is that how you get better deals? Because
you get better deals acting like you're not going to sell them. And then if you do get an offer from PSG for 60 that you could turn into 80 or 100 from PSG, you probably take it. No, there are prized assets you don't sell. You do not sell Hoyland, you don't sell Kobe, you don't sell Garnacho. But everyone else is on the block, sir, because you know why? We're broke and we have like $1 billion in debt between bank debt and then like, you know, transfers payable. So like if it wasn't for that, if we hadn't just like kept maxing out the credit card and doing buy now, pay later for the last 4 years, I would say no. But now like we are a mess. The club is so broke that we need to cut into muscle. And I don't want to cut into bone. We need to cut into muscle.
Bone. Last tweet here, which I think is a great point. Should we play McTominay at the fan of United? Why not give McTominay a chance up front? Like against City, put Rashford on the left, McTominay kind of like false nine, Garnacho on the right, you know, Bruno in the hole. Like, I like that a lot. Like, I think McTominay at 9 is better than putting Rashford there out of position right now. Just like have a shout.
He played today. I mean, a lot of the time he was basically playing 9. Some of his best chances were as the number 9. I agree with you. I don't agree with you for this game. I agree in general, but like we're going to be playing counter and McTominay is not fast. So like your only chance of like pipping a goal is with a Garnacho or a Rashford break. And McSauce is not going to like dust Kyle Walker.
No,
Kyle
that's why you play the false 9. You know, he'll like basically hold up play to Bruno to then get Rashford or Garnacho in behind. That would be the idea. He could be the target man, and then maybe try to provide the ball in behind. But regardless, it's going to be interesting to see how we set up. It's going to be a tough game, sir. Derby, 1,000-yard stare from United. But sir, that's it. That's the podcast. Thank you to all the American Red Devils. Listen to us week in, week out. You guys are the real MVPs. You want to support the podcast, check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/America Red Devils. Check out our store if you want to grab some merch, americadevils.store, americadevils.com for your fan-generated blog content. Hell of a season. We ain't done
It's
yet.
February, bruv. It's
FA Cup,
It's
baby.
February.
FA Cup, baby. We're going to win it. You know
How bad this season
house,
is, bro?
so.
It's a leap year. It's so bad that they gave us an extra day of the season. Just like, hey, everyone, it's such a bad season that, like, here's a free extra day of Man United football. You're welcome.
Be careful what you wish for. We get the Scouse Bastards coming to Old Trafford.
I've seen that, bro. I've seen that.
No,
I've seen that.
I know. I was so sad to see that the draw was going to be Liverpool. And
like, we can't get a Wolves, can't get a Coventry City. Like,
can't get the
how about a Leicester? City. We always did well against Leicester.
I just they're going to be licking their chops.
They are.
They're going to be licking their chops.
His big old teeth.
Yeah.
And also, like, we're not going to, dude. They want the FA. If you go to England, you watch this guy, they want Liverpool to win everything this year. It's like, that's all they want. They're like, quad. So get ready for that shit in the all lead up to the game.
Don't worry, sir. We're going to play spoiler.
There you go.
You got our top 10 downloads?
Let's do it.
Last 7 days?
Yeah, you got it. Number 1, how you doing? Los Angeles, California. Brooklyn, New York. Dublin, Ireland. New York. San Francisco, California. Seattle, Washington. San Antonio, Texas. Tampa, Florida. Chicago, Illinois. And last but not least, Phoenix, Arizona. We appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. We'll get you a recap after the City game on Sunday. We'll see what kind of mood we're in. Sir, you know what song we're playing. OG.
Nervy.
OG Kush. You know what we're playing.
Sir, Kicking the Blue.
Kicking the Blue. We'll see you guys on the weekend.
Kicking the blue. Kicking the blue. Kicking the blue. Whoa.